You're watching BCTV. We're all about Branford. You're watching BCTV, Branford Government Television, a service of Branford Community Television. This program is brought to you in part through the support of the town of Branford.
Good evening, everyone. I've just gotten my orders from Henry. So the February 12th, 2025 meeting of the Branford RTM is called to order at 8:03 p.m. Let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Mr. Toohill, will you call the roll, please?
I will. Representative Adams. Absent. Representative Edelman.
Here.
Representative Alphone.
Here.
Representative Amore.
Here.
Representative Anderson.
Here.
Representative Black. Absent. Representative Bonenberger.
Here.
Representative Brooks.
Present, sir.
Representative Dayhill.
Here.
Representative Everson.
Here.
Representative Greenberg.
Here.
Representative Hartwell. Absent. Representative Henschel.
Here.
Representative Hines. Absent. Representative Ingraham.
Here.
Representative Keith. Absent. Representative Leitch. Absent. Representative Larson.
Present.
Representative Lafredo.
Here.
Representative Maresca. Absent. Representative McCall.
Here.
Representative McCormick.
Here.
Representative Nupani. Absent. Representative Papalizio. Absent. Representative Sharkey. Absent. Representative Shrestha.
Here.
Representative Sumro.
Here.
Representative Toohill. Present. Representative Verderam.
Here.
Representative Waterman.
Here.
We have a quorum, Madam Moderator.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toohill.
Welcome.
Okay, I'm going to make this announcement after communications, okay? Okay. Item 4, approval of the minutes of the January 10th meeting, so 2025 of the RTM. So our first correction to the minutes, or at least to the agenda, is that should read January 12th meeting of 2025. So do I have a motion to approve the meeting? 8th, rather. Sorry, today this is the 12th. January 8th meeting of the 2025 of the RTM. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of January 8th, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? The minutes are approved as submitted. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Next item, item 5, receipt of communications, reports of committees, and citizens' petitions. I have one letter. Mr. Toohill, have you received anything?
I have not, Madam
Okay.
Moderator.
I'm going to read that into the record right now. Dear Moderator Amore, I'm writing to request that the RTM establish a pedestrian/bicycle committee in compliance with the 2028 Plan of Conservation and Development, Section 15, page 126. Establish a broad-based advocacy committee dedicated to promoting bicycle and pedestrian use, including sidewalk ordinances, pedestrian crosswalks, pedestrian lighting, etc. The specific tasks of the pedestrian/bicycle committee, PBC, are to evaluate the opportunities to create complete streets in Branford and retrofit existing situations to create more complete streets. Prepare a pedestrian/bicycle master plan, continue to require sidewalks as part of private development in appropriate areas of Branford, especially business zones, work with local bicycle groups, bicycle shops, and others to establish and nurture a system of on-road and off-road bicycle routes in Branford, create and publish a map of appropriate bicycle routes in Branford, investigate ways to create a system of signs and/or pavement markings to identify appropriate bicycle routes in Branford, and seek to be officially recognized as a bicycle-friendly community. Shoreline Greenway Trail is confident that this compliance with the 2018, not 2028, sorry, there's a typo in here, the 2018 Plan of Conservation and Development would benefit Branford and move us forward in an important development area. Thank you, Judith Miller, Branford Chair, Shoreline Greenway Trail. This correspondence is received and will be referred to R&O Committee to take it up as to its proper route. Thank you very much. Okay, before we move on, I have a housekeeping with our new room here. I've been asked to make a reminder for people speaking that these mics are for picking up and amplifying for the TV. When you speak, everybody should wait until they get a handheld mic. They should turn it on, hold the head of the mic near enough to your mouth so you don't spit on it, but also that the rest of the people in the room can hear you. Those are for amplifying to the people in this room. Okay? All right. Any questions on that? Thank you. Okay. That said, item 6, to consider and if appropriate, approve a transfer request from the Board of Police Commissioners for fiscal 25 from GGB Capital Fund Engineering and Architecture fee $20,730 to a new fund for a license plate reader in the equivalent amount of $20,730. Mr. Bonenberger, can you report on the committee's findings? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. On Thursday, February 6th, Public Services heard a presentation by Chief Mulhern of the Branford Police Department about this transfer. It's part of the license plate reader project, which is going to cover in total 4 points in Branford. It's a very good project. It's going to help the police department track down stolen vehicles. So this is looking for vehicles that have already, crimes that have already been committed. It's not going to be part of surveillance. It's going to be part of solving crimes. The committee, after hearing this presentation and Chief Mulhern's sort of passionate endorsement of it, voted unanimously to approve, and the measure passed 4-0. I put that in the form of a motion.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments for the committee, Public Services Committee, on this matter?
I'll say something, Madam Moderator.
Yes, Mr. Toohill.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Just to add to what Representative Bonenberger said, so tonight, you're being asked to transfer $20,730 from an unused capital account, and that's going to be added to $40,000, which is from ARPA. So the grand total for this project is, it's the amount from capital tonight, $20,730 plus the ARPA money, and so it's a good project, and I also think that the way the project was financed was great. Thank you, Madam Moderator.
You're welcome. Other comments or questions? Mr. Brooks.
Just for clarification through you, Madam Moderator, are we saying that the 2 readers cost a total of $60,000, or are we talking about 6 total readers?
Thank you for the question, Representative Brooks. It's 4 total points that are being covered, and I believe that there's a number of cameras that are associated with each point. So it's not 2 cameras or readers or 4 cameras or readers. I think, if not in this past meeting, but in the meeting where we discussed the 40,000 ARPA, I want to say the chief might have mentioned the number 30. It's also partly to pay for a subscription service, which I think we're probably going to have to consider renewing in some years, but we'll be able to cross that bridge when we get there. Obviously, if the service is working well, then we'll be inclined to renew it, and if it's not working well, if the police department is using this service and it's difficult to work with, or they're not getting what they expected from it, then we won't renew.
Okay. Mr. Bonenberger, point of clarification, you said the number 30. Did you mean 30 cameras? You believed it was 30 cameras that were
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Did I see a hand up over here? Any questions or comments? No? Okay. Hearing no other comments. Oh, anybody from the public? I will be asking generally for people to speak from the public after the RTM. Any other comments or questions? No. Okay. Then, hearing none, all in favor of this transfer, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the item carries. Moving on to item 7, to consider and, if appropriate, approve a transfer request from the Director of Information Technology for fiscal '25 from a fund for purchased services for repairs and maintenance, $16,000, to be transferred into overtime and part-time salaries for an equivalent amount of $16,000. Administrative Services heard this. Mr. Edelman.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. This item was heard by Admin Services on February 4th of this year. This was a request made by Scott Smith, who is the new Director of IT. The transfer of $16,000 is necessary for some short-term needs the department faces, such as the move of some of the police department members to the fire department, the replacement of Wi-Fi in town, installation of computers, and some fixed asset work that needs to be done. The transfer was requested to be split into 2 areas, one for the existing employees for overtime work, and I think there's 2 or 3 existing employees to do some overtime work, and $11,000 transferred to create a part-time position for up to 19 hours per week. Both these requests are made necessary for short-term issues with the IT department that have now been ramped up in town. This passed on February 4th of this year unanimously by the Admin Services, and I'll put that forward as a motion.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
From the RTM, questions or comments? Representative Waterman? Oh, Waterman.
So thank you. So it sounds like they're short-handed. So will they be asking for, did they mention when they'll be asking for additional positions in the next year to be able to cover the increasing needs within town?
So he didn't, and I have to say that
Sorry.
Director Smith was not at the Admin Services meeting. I saw his presentation to the Board of Finance, and he didn't talk about next year. He did say that these were short-term needs due to the areas that I articulated, the 4 areas I mentioned that the money would be appropriated for, and they seem to be of some limited duration. I mean, I guess at some point the police department's going to move back. But I think they're replacing the Wi-Fi in town. I don't think that's a repeating service. I don't think the installation of computers is a repeating service. So I didn't get any indication that this was an ongoing expense for next year. But in fairness to your question, he wasn't present at the Admin Services, and that question wasn't asked of him. But I did not get that sense. It was very clear to the Board of Finance, which I saw, that it was for short-term needs. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm hearing from Henry that we should also turn the table mics towards the speaker, I guess, for picking up the audio. They're having some trouble with that, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, any other questions or comments from the RTM on this matter? Anybody in public? Okay. Hearing no further questions or comments, we'll have a vote. All in favor of this transfer for information technology, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the item carries. Okay. Item 8, to consider and if appropriate approve the appointment of Carolyn Mancini to the South Central Connecticut Regional Water District's Representative Policy Board to fill a vacancy left by Mario Riccozzi, term to expire June 30th, 2027. Also heard by Admin Services, Mr. Edelman.
Again, thank you, Madam Moderator. And again, this is another item that was on the February 4th, 2025 Admin Services meeting. The committee at that time reviewed a letter from the South Central Regional Water Authority that was enclosed with material regarding the job description. We reviewed Ms. Mancini's resume, and there was unanimous approval at that meeting for the appointment. I believe this is on the agenda. Oh, it changed on this one. Okay, it's an appointment. It originally was meant to be a reappointment, but this is for an initial appointment, so I want to make that clear. I guess we didn't notice that change on this new agenda. But again, it was passed unanimously by Admin Services, and I would put that forth as a motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, this appointment, I guess, by state statute comes to the governing body, so we will need a vote on that. Any questions or comments on this appointment? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of approving the appointment of Carolyn Mancini to the South Central Connecticut Regional Water District's Representative Policy Board, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The appointment is carried. Thank you. Item 9, to consider and if appropriate, create an ordinance to establish a Harbor Management Commission pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes 22A-113K. Mr. Henschel.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. The Rules and Ordinance Committee met on January 21st. The committee discussed an initial draft of the Harbor Management Commission ordinance to solicit public comment, and public attendance at that meeting was quite large. The draft outline was attached to the 121 meeting agenda and is available online if anybody should want to review what was discussed in that meeting. The details of the draft are currently being adjusted and refined based on public comments, and the committee voted unanimously to re-refer this item, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Okay, all in favor of a re-referral of this item to the Rules and Ordinances Committee? Oh, I have to ask, any questions or comments on this re-referral? Anyone? Anyone in the room? Okay. Hearing none, let's have a vote on the re-referral of item 9 to Rules and Ordinances. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, it is re-referred. Thank you very much. Item 10, to consider and if appropriate, create an ordinance which will encode reasonable restrictions on short-term rentals in Branford. Mr. Henschel.
Again, thank you, Madam Moderator. The Rules and Ordinance Committee, as I said, met on January 21st. In that meeting, the committee discussed a draft outline of the short-term rental ordinance to solicit public comment, and the public attendance on that subject was also large. Again, the draft outline was attached to the 121 meeting agenda, so if people in the public would like to review what was reviewed in that meeting, they can go online and pull that agenda to look at the actual detail. Details of the draft are being further adjusted and refined based on those public comments, and the committee voted unanimously to re-refer this item, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Okay, we have a motion to re-refer the item. Any questions or comments on this re-referral? Yes, Representative.
Thank you.
Everson.
Through you to Representative Henschel. When is the next meeting of Rules and Ordinances, in case anyone listening in would like to attend and hear further discussions on Harbor Management Commission and the short-term rentals?
The next meeting of Rules and Ordinances is this coming Tuesday. I don't know what the date of that is, but Tuesday next week.
17th? 18th?
18th.
Okay.
February 18th.
Okay. Thank you very much. Other questions or comments from the RTM or the public? Okay, so all in favor of re-referring this item 10 to Rules and Ordinance for deliberation, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, hearing none, the item is re-referred. Okay. Item 11, any other business to come before the RTM? Yes, Mr. Toohill.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Just requesting a moment of silence for recently departed former RTM member John Grossman. He also was a longtime member of the Branford Police Commission.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Thank you for remembering.
You're welcome.
Okay, other comments from any new business? Okay. Hearing none, I will call for a motion to adjourn.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see
I
you.
didn't know if we were doing that first. I speak?
Just tell him to get a hand.
Yes.
and come up to the-
Yes, you can, you need to speak, yes, come on. For brief comments, please?
Say what?
Brief comments,
Yes, there
for
you go.
3 minutes, then gonna hand mic.
Well, maybe a little longer than 3 minutes.
Well, it is
I'll
my,
argue with you tonight. I know. Just let me say what I gotta say and we can all get the hell out of here.
all right. Try to keep your comments to 3 minutes, however.
Good evening, Todd Petrowski, South Monterey Street. Just want to bring to your attention, I recently obtained the criminal statistics for the 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 7th district. And it's, in regards to the 5th district, the police were dispatched 173 times to residences. Shoreline Grove is the proud owner of 162 of those. And the charges range from burglary and theft and harassment and public nuisance, intoxicated persons, destruction of property, and so on and so on. And let's not forget about the gentleman that attempted to run his girlfriend over in the parking lot and took our officers on a pursuit into Pine Orchard. So what we have here is what's deemed as a public nuisance, according to the definition. So instead of arguing about it, what could we do to solve this problem? Now, there's several things we could do. One starts with somebody from the municipality going down there and informing them that we have a public nuisance problem. Number two, you could ask for either 24-hour security or that they hire a cop out of their pocket. 3, they could get fined for excessive police calls, which is all legal. 4, it's called, you could abate the property, which all it takes is 3 or more arrests on a property, and that's section 19A-343A through 343H, that you could abate the property and ultimately get rid of the current management and get a new management team in there, which would mean getting rid of Beacon and Columbus House and starting over so we don't have these criminal problems. And also there could be civil suits from neighbors and the town as well for this criminal nuisance that we have in our backyard. And also there's a thing called inverse condemnment, which is the property values are now devalued because of this nuisance. So we got some problems here that you guys need to figure out, or that this actually should have went to the selectmen, but I can't make that meeting time, so kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. So does any of you think that that's a problem, 162 calls to 1 address? I mean, that's more than the 4 shoreline districts combined by over 100. So, I mean, I'm just curious to what we could do as a community to police this a little bit better, not costing us more tax dollars for more police to sit there and babysit it. At some point, they should have to pay, and they should be responsible for their tenants' actions. Because there's been no other major crime in any of those 4 districts, with the exception of that address. Do you have any comment? You were a big proponent of proving that.
Well, I would say the place to start with asking these questions would be to return to the Branford Housing Authority and bring your concerns to their meetings. That's where it would start. That would be my advice to you. that if you have a legitimate set of complaints, start with the people who oversee the property managers. That would be the place to start.
That's all good and well, but I'm just telling you that there's an issue, and now I'm letting this body know.
Okay.
So it could be notice of the issue. So now it's kind of in your hands to kind of do something about it. I could go there. I'm not part of the government. You guys are. And so it means a little bit more coming from a representative or a selectman than it would just from myself or any other resident, that this is dumped in our backyard and we have to deal with the cops up and down the street and the fire trucks up and down the street that are there every day almost.
Well, you have read it into the record. You're on the record by being here and making your statements. So finding the correct route for this to go, I don't believe that starting at the RTM is the place to start. So I would get some advice from the selectmen, from the selectmen, the Board of Selectmen, as to where you would go, and then whether or not it should go back to Housing Authority through them. But I think there's a route, and starting at this place is not perhaps the right route. Your complaints and your concerns are on the record now. You've just read them in. So I would advise you to speak with the selectmen, and we can, if there's a complaint that comes, if there's something we can do, it will come to us through the appropriate channels. Right now, there's nothing we can do particularly.
Madam Moderator?
Yes.
If I could just, I know you've had your opportunity to speak. We're not supposed to be necessarily doing back and forth, but as a 5th District representative, this is the first that I have heard of that. I appreciate you bringing it to our attention. I'll certainly be having a conversation with the Chief of Police. I would suggest that you also address the Police Commission, because, that is their purview, per se, in terms of crime statistics, but I'll take a look at it.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And like I said, we're just trying to get this out there because it is an ongoing issue. And instead of going through all that, and like I said, to waste more tax dollars, I mean, this thing's already a burden on the police department, the fire department, the schools, and all of us. We're paying for it. They're not paying a dollar. To put an extra patrol there is just more money out of our pocket, more overtime to the town. And like I said, you have one high crime area out of 4 districts, and I haven't gotten the other ones yet. I was just trying to come here and be polite. I don't want to have to go the route of a citizen's petition and talk about this over and over again. And the reason why is because according to the state statutes, they say to bring it to here and then you guys handle it from there. Now, I could easily go to a housing authority meeting. Half the time they cancel them, and the other time they don't let you talk. So that would kind of be, and I don't think the housing authority has any control over Shoreline Grove anymore. Don't they just Parkside too?
In terms of the property management, there's an agreement. I'm not allowed to comment.
Right. Well, just for the record too, while we're talking about Parkside too, had 0 calls.
You've got a commitment from a 5th District representative to take it to another step, so I think that what we can do, we just have given you what we can do at this point.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Question, if I may. What period of time do those statistics?
Oh, I'm sorry, March 2024 when it opened till the first of the year.
So
10 months.
January of this year.
10 months.
Thank you.
So that equals to a call every other day.
Okay, any other comments from the public? Anybody else? Okay, I will now entertain a call to adjourn, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Go with God.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Branford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BranfordTV.org.